Hey guys, Matteo here. Welcome back to a new video. And today I want to talk, of course, about the newly released camera by Blackmagic and NAB 2024. And sorry guys, I'm a little bit late to the party, but I was in Champagne to do some work. But I'm actually glad that I have some days to elaborate on everything that happened at NAB with Blackmagic. Now, let's just start from the Pixies because Blackmagic, after so many people complain about this boxy thing, they finally put the 6K full frame sensor inside the Pixies. So guys, the Pixies has the same exact sensor of the camera I'm filming right now, the BMCC 6K full frame that was released in December 2023. So if you want to see some footage from the sensor, you can go on my channel. I have so many videos I shot with the 6K full frame. Of course, it's the same sensor that people were complaining because of the rolling shutter, which is not that great, but it never affected the way I use the camera, the way I shot with the camera. I've been shooting so many projects in the past 2-3 months for social media, restaurant, food and wine, and I didn't notice anything that would make me say, oh my gosh, the rolling shutter is so bad. Also in DaVinci, you can easily fix this with the gyro data. You just set it to 0 and it's basically gonna disappear in most of the shot. Fun fact, nobody of those people that drop $30,000 on a Sony Burano complain for that rolling shutter speed. Is it unusable? No, but it's $30,000. So, I can expect some sort of compromise when it comes to a $2,000, $3,000 camera. I definitely would expect a little bit better from a camera that costs $30,000. There's no ND, exactly like there are no ND on the 6K full frame. So I know people complaining that they removed the ND. They didn't remove anything because the 6K full frame didn't have ND in the first place. It does have an OLPF, which my opinion is actually a little bit better. To me, it's not a big deal. Also, they mentioned they didn't have enough space, especially in the L mount, to put this internal ND. So it was a design choice that they did in order to keep the camera compact. And guys, it's $3,000. I don't see anyone that bought the Red Komodo complaining about not having internal ND. They were nice enough to actually include a beautiful monitor on the side too, so you don't have to go through a little monitor. You have all your settings clear right there. Not that you're gonna go around and look in the side monitor in order to capture some footage, but for example, if you're rolling some interviews or you're doing some work on the tripod, at that point you can even use the side monitor without a problem. Otherwise, you guys wanted a cube, boxy shaped camera to rig up, you're just gonna buy your external monitor and call it a day. Also guys, this camera, just like the 12K, just like all the other Blackmagic that I think are gonna come out, they don't shoot ProRes. Could be an issue that you can easily avoid it since, these new Pixies, you're gonna need an external monitor. You can just buy a Blackmagic monitor recorder and record ProRes on the monitor. Did I miss ProRes? No. B-Raw 12x1 is actually lighter than ProRes HQ. B-Raw, guys, is an extremely efficient codec. But with the Pixies also, guys, you gain an SDI connection. You lose, of course, the HDMI, but so many people were asking for an SDI, so you get the SDI. You also get 2 CF Express ports, which is great. And of course, also you have now the possibility to mount on this camera the new viewfinder by Blackmagic with a USB-C cable. And I think this is great. I find myself with the Ursa using the viewfinder pretty much 99% of the time I'm on a shoot. So this camera, the 6K full frame and the Pixies, has 13 stops dynamic range, and I've been hearing people complaining about the 13 stops. I want more, I want 16, I want 17. Guys, the Alexa Classic has 14 stops dynamic range. I can assure you that I shot with this camera and the Pocket in so many different scenarios for so many years, and I never felt the need to have more than 13 stops dynamic range. It's basically impossible to clip the highlights. You can check some of my footage that I capture against the sun and from outside the window, or like beautiful sunsets. If you can't get your image right and beautiful with 13 stops of dynamic range, I'm sorry guys, but the problem is not the camera, the problem is the operator. Now, what do I think about the Ursa Cine, the new 12K? I think it's incredible. I'm in love completely with my Ursa 12K. I think it's one of the best sensors that Blackmagic ever produced. I love the image out of it. I love the motion into the sensor. I love everything about it, and it's fantastic sensor. I captured some of my best shot with it, but I didn't expect Blackmagic to come out with the 12K in-house full frame sensor now. So this is a kind of V2, like it's an improvement already. So what are we talking about here? 12K full frame 3x2 open gate, 12K internal RAW, of course, up to 80 frames per second, and it can shoot a stunning 120 frames per second in 12K 241. And then it can shoot 8K or 4K, no crop, up to 144 frames per second, but then in 241, it can shoot up to 224 frames per second. And of course, 16 stops of dynamic range. Now here we're getting into some very expensive famous cinema camera out there. Even the Alexa 35, of course, it's an amazing camera, fantastic, but it costs $90,000. It's an S35 sensor, which there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't think it can get up to those frame rates. Now, how can you record such a frame rate with this compression and stuff? Of course, they changed the internal recording. Now you're gonna have some proprietary media SSD from Blackmagic, which is great because now the camera, okay, it already costs $15,000, but it also comes with 8 terabytes of storage. But the other cool thing is that they're gonna make available another module for CF Express, so we're gonna still be able to use our cards. But to be honest, when you have an 8 terabyte integrated storage that you just take out, plug into your computer, download super fast speed, this is a really cool workflow, and it's a genius move also from Blackmagic in order to allow you to record at such a high resolution, compression, and frame rate. Another cool thing about this new Ursa Cine 12K is that you have the 9K mode now, which is a S35 crop, and basically that is gonna allow you to shoot with your S35 cinema lenses. Not only that, anamorphic modes also get quite a boost. You can do now 1.3, 1.5, 1.6, 1.66, 1.8, and 2x. The beautiful thing about having that 12K sensor is that you can play around together with the B-roll codec in order to get such an insane amount of option in terms of aspect ratio, anamorphic mode, 12K, 8K, 4K, no crop. So yeah, it's a 12K camera, but you can easily shoot in 4K if you want to. Of course, guys, they also redesigned the body, so now it looks to me a little bit more modern. The lines, I like them a little bit more. I think the front is a little bit more flat, but yeah, now it looks a little bit more like an FX9 or a Venice or an Amira, which is a form factor that I absolutely love. They said it, they didn't want to have any compromise in terms of cost and price. They put everything they could into the camera package. I still have to test it, but from the first footage I saw, it looks quite spectacular. And also Blackmagic mentioned about a new 17K 65mm sensor, which is insane. They didn't release many details. They're just developing now. It's gonna be available at the end of the year. Of course, guys, this is a specialty camera that you're gonna use on some particular production probably. But I think Blackmagic this year, they wanted to show the muscle and tell to any other camera manufacturer, look, if we want, we can make some incredible things. And I'm actually glad that Blackmagic, finally, they were not concerned about, oh, we need to stay under 10,000. I'm glad that they decided to go all in and bring to the market a camera that, I mean, yeah, of course, $15,000 is a lot of money, but when you think what you get, there is nobody in the market that is gonna give you an option to that. So a lot of interesting things from Blackmagic. I think finally they got people excited again. This is their philosophy. They're not Sony. They're gonna release one camera a week just because they want to sell you another camera. Blackmagic philosophy is to give you the best they have available. And then maybe they're not gonna release much for the next 2-3 years. Even though I have to say, now that the Pixis body is out, this is gonna open up incredible opportunity. And yeah, this is it, guys. Now I'm just gonna wait for this camera to show up. But as soon as they're here, I'm gonna start posting frames and video on my channel. So be sure to subscribe, and we're gonna see so much footage from this camera. Can't wait to share it with you. Have a good one, guys.